Commander Rollo stood on the bridge of the Imperial Star Destroyer Vanguard, his eyes scanning the holographic display of the outer star system. He had led countless missions for the Galactic Empire, and he believed nothing could surprise him anymore. The Empire's fleets were vast, their weapons powerful, and their strategy perfect. Nothing in the galaxy could match their might. Yet the readings on his screen were unusual. A small fleet of ships moved near the colonies of the outer system. They were human vessels, small and seemingly weak compared to the massive Imperial warships. Roller smirked. "They cannot be more than a nuisance," he said to his officers. "Prepare to eliminate them quickly. This mission should take no more than a few hours." The human ships were led by Captain Leo, a man known for his sharp mind and unbreakable spirit. From his command ship, Aurora, he watched the Imperial fleet approaching. Leo knew his fleet was smaller, but he had faith in his people's intelligence, courage, and unity. "Stay calm and hold your positions," he instructed his crew. "Do not panic. We will outsmart them." As the Imperial warships advanced, Leo activated the Aurora's energy shields. They hummed softly, glowing in blue light. His fleet spread out across the asteroid field, taking advantage of the natural cover. He had prepared carefully. The humans would not fight like the Empire expected. The first shots fired. Imperial laser cannons cut through the vacuum of space, aiming at the human ships. Leo's fleet dodged with speed and precision. Smaller ships zipped around larger ones, weaving between asteroids, while the Aurora sent out pulses that disrupted the targeting systems of the Empire's weapons. Roller watched in disbelief as Imperial shots missed by meters. "This is impossible," he muttered. The humans were not just defending, they were moving strategically. Each ship seemed to anticipate his commands before he could even give them. He could feel unease creeping into his mind. On the Aurora, Leo smiled slightly. "They expect us to panic, but we do not fear," he said. The humans worked together perfectly. When one ship drew enemy fire, another moved in to flank the attackers. They were smaller, but their teamwork and creativity made them dangerous. The battle continued. Several Imperial drones exploded, their fragments scattering in the void. Roller barked orders to fire more aggressively, but the humans continued to evade, using clever tricks and quick maneuvers. For every ship the Empire destroyed, two more seemed ready to counter. Roller could not understand it. How could such a small fleet fight like this? The humans seemed fearless, almost like they welcomed the challenge. He had fought many alien races, some aggressive, some clever, but none like this. Even his most experienced officers looked uneasy. Captain Leo's crew remained calm. They repaired minor damage in real time, shared information instantly, and anticipated every move of the Imperial forces. Leo himself directed the battle with confidence and clarity. "Focus on their weak points," he instructed. "Their large ships are slow. We can outmaneuver them." The humans launched their first counterattack. Small energy pulses struck the Vanguard's shield, causing minor damage but enough to distract the Imperial crew. Then another ship fired from behind an asteroid, hitting a smaller Imperial cruiser. The Empire had expected an easy victory, but their attacks were failing. Roller's hands tightened around the edge of the command console. "Signal reinforcements," he ordered, though doubt had already started to grow in his mind. Could these humans really be more than a small threat? Leo remained calm as the battle raged on. He understood the Empire underestimated him. That mistake would cost them dearly if they continued to misjudge humanity. He knew this first encounter was only the beginning. His fleet had to survive, but more importantly, they had to show the Empire that humans were not weak or easy to destroy. The skirmish ended with the Imperial fleet retreating slightly, nursing their losses and trying to regroup. The humans had only used a fraction of their full strength, but the message was clear. Humanity was not a simple target. The Empire would soon realize that defeating humans would require far more than brute force. Roller stared at the display in silence. His confidence was shaken. These humans were unlike any enemies he had faced before. Something about their courage, strategy, and unpredictability unsettled him. For the first time in his career, he felt fear. Leo looked at his crew, proud but cautious. "We have won today," he said. "But we must prepare for what comes next. The Empire will not forget this, and they will come again. We must be ready." The first encounter was over, but the real war was only beginning. The humans had proven themselves capable, and the Empire would soon learn that underestimating humanity could be its greatest mistake. The Empire returned to its main base, but Commander Roller could not shake the feeling of unease. The human fleet had retreated, yet their small victory left a deep impression. The Empire's intelligence officers reported strange readings from the human colonies, and the results confused even the most experienced analysts. Humans were not only using advanced energy shields and adaptive weapons, but they also seemed to communicate instantly across vast distances. Roller walked through the crowded halls of the Imperial Command Center. Officers moved quickly, reviewing reports and recalculating strategies. Despite the organized atmosphere, there was tension. Many whispered about the humans' unexpected abilities. Roller paused at a holographic display showing recent skirmish data. His hand hovered over the control panel as he studied the movements of the human ships. Every maneuver, every counterattack, every escape had been precise. The humans had fought without fear, without hesitation. The Empire had not seen such skill in centuries. Meanwhile, far from the Imperial base, Captain Leo returned to the human colonies with his fleet. He did not celebrate the minor victory, he knew the Empire would retaliate with greater force. "We cannot underestimate them," he told his officers. "They may have more resources than we see. They will strike harder next time, and we must be ready." In the colonies, humans were already working to strengthen defenses. Engineers repaired ships, improved energy shields, and reinforced planetary bases. Soldiers trained day and night, practicing maneuvers and strategies. Civilians helped in any way they could, providing supplies, intelligence, and support. Humans of all ages and skills were united in purpose, driven by determination and courage. Leo walked among them, observing and encouraging. He knew that the survival of their colonies depended on preparation and unity. Back at the Imperial base, Roller received a new report from a spy stationed near the human colonies. The report described humans using unusual tactics, such as hiding fleets in asteroid fields, using natural phenomena to confuse sensors, and coordinating attacks with incredible speed. "They are more organized than we imagined," the spy said. "They plan for every possibility, and they adapt instantly." Roller's mind raced. He had fought many alien races, some clever, some dangerous, but humans were different. They were not the largest, nor the most advanced in raw firepower, yet they seemed unstoppable when working together. Their courage and creativity created an advantage the Empire could not calculate with standard models. At a council meeting, Roller addressed the Imperial leaders. "We have underestimated these humans. Their technology is primitive compared to ours, yet their tactics make them deadly. We cannot assume another attack will be simple." The council members murmured among themselves, surprised by Roller's warning. No officer had dared to question the Empire's strength before. In the human colonies, Leo convened a strategy meeting. Holographic maps displayed the outer star systems and potential Imperial attack routes. "We must protect our colonies, but we must also be smart," he said. "The Empire will come again, stronger and faster. We must not only defend ourselves but find ways to weaken them before they reach our worlds." His officers nodded in agreement, understanding the seriousness of the situation. Humans began testing new strategies. Small ships were equipped with devices to jam enemy communications. Energy pulses were refined to penetrate stronger shields. Pilots practiced complex maneuvers, learning to anticipate enemy moves. Each day brought improvements, and the fleet grew stronger and more confident. Leo knew their true power was not just weapons or shields, but their ability to adapt and remain united. Back on the Imperial side, Roller studied the intelligence further. Reports showed humans could survive extreme conditions, repair ships quickly, and even repurpose captured enemy technology. Every action the humans took was calculated to maximize efficiency while minimizing risk. The Empire had never faced a species that combined creativity, courage, and intelligence in such a way. Fear began to grow among Imperial officers. At the colonies, a young officer approached Leo with a question. "Captain, why do the humans fight so hard? Our resources are limited compared to the Empire." Leo smiled slightly. "We fight because we have no choice. Every colony, every life, every person matters. The Empire believes size and power win battles. We believe courage, strategy, and unity win wars. That is why we cannot lose." As the days passed, both sides prepared. The Empire rebuilt its fleets, adding more warships and weapon systems. Humans continued training, studying the Empire's tactics, and finding creative solutions. The galaxy watched silently as the tension grew. Roller realized one truth that unsettled him deeply: humans were unpredictable, and unpredictability was dangerous for an empire used to control. The warning signs were clear. Underestimating humanity could be the Empire's greatest mistake, and the next encounter would prove whether the Empire could survive against a species that refused to surrender. The humans knew the stakes. They were small, but they were determined. Captain Leo looked at the stars, ready for the challenges ahead. The war had not begun fully, but both sides were already learning that the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had awakened, and the Empire would soon understand the power of courage, strategy, and unity. The Imperial Starfleet moved silently through the outer star system. Commander Roller stood on the bridge of the flagship Vanguard, watching as dozens of massive warships formed a perfect formation. "This time, we will crush them," he said confidently. "The humans are clever, but they are few. We will destroy their colonies and make them submit." Meanwhile, Captain Leo prepared his fleet for the Imperial attack. The humans knew the Empire would strike with full force. The Aurora, his command ship, moved into a hidden sector of the asteroid belt. Other human ships scattered, taking cover behind massive rocks and using natural formations to hide from enemy sensors. Leo studied the Imperial formations. "They expect us to fight openly," he said to his officers. "We will not. We will fight smart, not with numbers, but with strategy." The battle began without warning. Imperial lasers cut through the dark space, lighting up the asteroids with deadly beams. Humans fired back from hidden positions, targeting weak points in the enemy formation. Small energy pulses disabled the shields of a cruiser, causing it to drift helplessly. Imperial officers watched in disbelief as their ships, larger and more powerful, were forced to retreat. Roller shouted orders, trying to regain control. "Concentrate fire on the Aurora. Destroy it first." But the Aurora was not where the Empire expected. It moved through asteroid tunnels, appearing suddenly behind enemy ships. Leo gave calm, clear commands. "Flank them from both sides. Focus on their slowest vessels first. Protect the colonies at all costs." The human fleet worked in perfect coordination. Smaller ships darted around massive Imperial cruisers, striking with energy pulses and disappearing before counterattacks could hit. The Aurora fired carefully aimed blasts to disable enemy shields and engines. For every ship the Empire destroyed, humans had another ready to strike from a hidden position. The battle continued for hours. Imperial officers began to panic. Their superior numbers did not give them an advantage. Humans anticipated their moves and adapted instantly. Every Imperial strategy was countered. Even the most experienced admirals could not predict where the next attack would come from. Roller's confidence faltered. He had fought many clever enemies, but humans were different. They did not fear death, nor did they follow predictable tactics. Their bravery, creativity, and unity made them unpredictable and dangerous. He realized the first skirmish had been only a small warning. Now, the Empire faced a force it could not calculate. On the human side, Leo remained calm and focused. He encouraged his officers and crew, keeping morale high. "Remember, we fight for every colony, every life, every person," he said. "The Empire believes power comes from size. We know it comes from courage and strategy. Stay united and stay sharp." Humans used clever tactics to protect their colonies. They lured Imperial ships into asteroid traps, disabled their engines, and forced them to drift helplessly. Energy shields absorbed powerful laser blasts, while humans targeted critical systems to weaken enemy ships. The Empire's advanced technology was not enough to overcome the humans' intelligence and precision. Roller grew desperate. "Send reinforcements. Use everything we have," he ordered. Imperial warships moved faster, but humans were ready. Using the asteroid field and clever maneuvers, they struck at the reinforcements, crippling several ships before they could reach the battle. The Empire had never faced an enemy that could fight back so effectively with fewer resources. Hours later, the Imperial fleet had suffered heavy losses. Several cruisers were destroyed, and many more were damaged. Roller's pride was gone, replaced by fear. The humans had not only survived but had forced the Empire to retreat. It was clear they were not a simple, weak species. Leo observed the retreating Imperial fleet. "They will return," he said quietly to his officers. "But today, we have shown them that humans are not to be underestimated. We have defended our colonies, and we have won." Back on the Vanguard, Roller stared at the stars in silence. The humans' courage, strategy, and unity had shattered his confidence. He realized that the first strike had revealed something terrifying: humans were stronger and smarter than the Empire had ever imagined. They had won without overwhelming firepower, relying instead on their intelligence, coordination, and courage. In the colonies, people celebrated quietly. They repaired ships, reinforced defenses, and prepared for future attacks. They knew the Empire would not give up. Captain Leo addressed his crew, proud but serious. "This victory is important, but it is only the beginning. We must continue to adapt, to prepare, and to fight together. The Empire will not forget today, and neither will we." The first strike ended with a clear message. Humans were not weak, and they were not alone. Their courage and strategy had shown the galaxy that even a small, determined group could stand against a powerful empire. The war was far from over, but humanity had proven that it could survive, fight, and win against overwhelming odds. Roller realized one truth that he could not ignore: the human strength was not only in their ships or weapons, but in their minds and hearts. He now understood that underestimating humanity could be the greatest mistake the Empire had ever made. The Empire was in chaos. Commander Roller walked through the halls of the Imperial Command Center, his mind heavy with confusion. The humans had survived attacks that should have destroyed them. The first skirmishes had revealed their courage, but now intelligence reports showed that humans were not only brave, they were clever, adaptable, and unpredictable. "Commander, the humans are using techniques we cannot fully understand," a young officer said, pointing to a holographic map. "They move their fleets in ways that avoid detection. They can repair damaged ships in real time. They even reuse our technology against us." Roller clenched his fists. He had fought hundreds of alien races in his career. Some were powerful, some were clever, but none had combined courage and intelligence like humans. He realized that defeating them would not be simple. Even his most experienced strategists were baffled by their unpredictability. Far from the Imperial fleet, Captain Leo observed the reports sent from the outer colonies. He had anticipated that the Empire would study their tactics carefully, and he had prepared for it. Humans had trained extensively to think like the enemy, to predict their movements, and to react instantly to threats. Leo's fleet constantly adapted, learning from every encounter, improving after each skirmish. Humans were also learning about the Empire. Spies and scouts reported Imperial formations, weapon strengths, and weaknesses. Engineers experimented with energy shields that could adjust to enemy fire, and pilots practiced maneuvers designed to confuse even the most experienced Imperial commanders. Every human action was measured, purposeful, and designed to maximize their advantage without revealing their full strength. Back at the Imperial Command Center, Roller convened a council meeting. High-ranking officers and scientists gathered to discuss what they had learned. The humans are unlike any species we have encountered, Roller said. They are small, their ships are weaker, but their strategy and coordination make them deadly. We cannot simply attack with force. We must understand them, or we will continue to lose. A scientist spoke up, showing a display of recent battle data. Commander, humans seem to process information faster than we expected. They communicate across large distances instantly, using signals that our sensors cannot fully detect. They can change their tactics mid-battle, adapt to unexpected attacks, and even anticipate our moves. Roller nodded grimly. We have underestimated them. That is clear. The Empire has relied on numbers and firepower for centuries. Humans do not fight like we do. They fight smart, and that makes them dangerous. Meanwhile, Captain Leo held a strategy meeting with his officers. Holographic images of Imperial ships appeared, showing their strengths and weaknesses. They will come again, Leo said. They may bring more ships, more weapons, and more resources. We must continue to study them. We must improve faster than they do. Our advantage is not in size, but in intelligence and unity. Never forget that. Human engineers demonstrated new devices that could disrupt enemy targeting systems and shields that adjusted automatically to incoming fire. Pilots trained in formations that allowed small numbers of ships to control larger battlefields. Each day, humans became stronger, more precise, and more unpredictable. The Empire tried to respond. Scientists built new warships and developed advanced weapons. Generals revised their battle plans constantly. But every time the Empire thought they had discovered a weakness, humans adapted and countered. The humans' ability to learn and improvise frustrated the Imperial leadership. Roller could feel fear growing among his officers. They had always relied on overwhelming force to win battles. Now they faced a species that could defeat them without equal numbers or advanced technology. Every report of human success chipped away at the confidence of the Empire's fleet. In the human colonies, Leo encouraged collaboration among scientists, engineers, and military officers. Observe carefully, adapt quickly, and always stay united, he said. The Empire expects predictable behavior. Let us give them something they cannot predict. Let us show them that courage and intelligence together can overcome any force. Across the galaxy, whispers of human skill and bravery spread. Some alien species began to question the Empire's authority, inspired by stories of humans defeating overwhelming forces with clever tactics and courage. Humanity was no longer just a small species in a distant corner of space, they were becoming a symbol of resistance and hope. Roller knew that the next confrontation would be critical. Humans were not just defending their colonies, they were teaching the galaxy a lesson about strategy, unity, and courage. The Empire could no longer rely on brute force alone. They had to understand the humans completely, or they would continue to fail. Captain Leo looked at the stars, thinking of the challenges ahead. The humans had survived the first battles, adapted to the enemy's attacks, and grown stronger with every encounter. The Empire would not stop, but humanity would not back down. They were ready to defend their colonies, their people, and their freedom. In the shadowed halls of the Imperial fleet, Commander Roller stared at a report showing human maneuvers and strategies. He whispered to himself, "These humans, they are something else." He realized the frightening truth. The humans' strength was not only in their ships or weapons, but in their minds. And that made them a force the Empire could not ignore. The galaxy was changing. The Empire had met a species that refused to surrender. The humans had proven that courage, intelligence, and unity could challenge even the most powerful forces in the universe. The real war was only beginning, and both sides knew that the next encounter would decide the fate of entire star systems. Captain Leo studied the star maps carefully. The Imperial fleet was regrouping after their failed attack, but he knew they would return stronger and faster. "We cannot wait for them to strike again," he told his officers. "We must take the fight to them. If we disrupt their supply lines and communication hubs, they will struggle to organize their next attack." The humans prepared for a counter-offensive. Small, fast ships were fitted with new devices that could jam Imperial sensors. Engineers developed tools to disable enemy weapons temporarily. Pilots practiced precise maneuvers to strike and retreat quickly, using the terrain of space asteroids, moons, and nebulae to their advantage. Every member of the fleet knew their role, and every action was planned to maximize impact while minimizing risk. The first human strike began near an Imperial outpost. Small ships darted from hidden positions, striking key supply depots with energy pulses. Explosions lit up space as the outpost's weapons systems were disabled. Imperial officers were caught by surprise, unable to respond quickly. Ships trying to flee were met by humans waiting in ambush. The attack was swift, coordinated, and devastating. Commander Roller received the first reports. He watched holographic images of damaged supply ships and destroyed communication satellites. "How are they doing this with so few resources?" he demanded. Officers scrambled to respond, but the humans were already moving on to their next targets. Each strike was precise, designed to weaken the Empire before the main fleet could intervene. Captain Leo's strategy focused on speed and adaptability. Human ships moved in unpredictable patterns, striking from unexpected angles. Smaller vessels drew enemy fire while larger ships disabled critical systems. Humans exploited every weakness in Imperial technology, using clever tactics rather than brute force. Imperial pilots struggled to keep up. The humans were faster, smarter, and more adaptable than any enemy they had faced. Ships that should have been easy targets evaded attacks effortlessly. Energy pulses disabled key systems on large warships, forcing them to retreat. Roller watched helplessly as the Empire's advantage in size and firepower was nullified by human strategy and courage. In the colonies, civilians assisted in the effort. Engineers repaired ships, scientists provided new designs, and volunteers monitored communications. Humanity had become a united force. Every person contributed to the defense, showing the Empire that courage and cooperation could overcome even the most powerful adversary. The human success spread quickly across the galaxy. Alien observers noted that the Empire's ships were being systematically weakened without direct confrontation. The humans were not reckless, they were calculating, precise, and effective. Roller felt fear growing among his officers. Their confidence, once absolute, was now shaken by the humans' ingenuity and determination. Captain Leo observed the results of the first strikes. "This is only the beginning," he told his officers. "The Empire believes power comes from numbers. We show them that strategy, courage, and unity create strength far beyond what they expect. We cannot stop now." Humans launched the next phase of the counter-offensive. Fleet units moved in formation, targeting communication satellites that connected Imperial forces across the system. Within minutes, the Empire's coordination was disrupted. Ships could not receive orders, weapon systems failed to synchronize, and confusion spread. Imperial admirals tried to regain control, but the humans anticipated their moves. Each Imperial response was countered before it could be effective. Roller's frustration grew. He realized the humans had turned the battle in ways he could not predict. They were not fighting for conquest or glory, they were fighting to protect their homes, their people, and their freedom. That purpose gave them an advantage the Empire could not match. Every officer under Roller's command felt the pressure. The humans' tactics were forcing them into mistakes they had never imagined making. The humans' energy pulses struck key engines and weapons systems on several Imperial warships. Ships were disabled or forced to retreat, leaving the Empire's formation fractured. Captain Leo coordinated his fleet with precision, ensuring no human ship was lost unnecessarily. The counteroffensive was not reckless, it was controlled, calculated, and relentless. As the battle continued, Roller realized that humans were not just defending, they were teaching the Empire a lesson. Bravery, intelligence, and unity allowed a smaller force to challenge a powerful opponent. Each successful strike spread fear among Imperial officers, showing that the humans' courage and adaptability were unmatched. The counteroffensive ended with the Imperial fleet forced to retreat temporarily. The humans had disrupted supply lines, damaged communication networks, and demonstrated their ability to strike decisively. Captain Leo addressed his officers and crews. "We have shown the Empire that humanity cannot be underestimated. Today, we fight not just to survive, but to shape the future of our galaxy. We must continue to adapt, continue to prepare, and continue to fight together." Back in the Imperial Command Center, Roller studied the reports with growing dread. The humans had struck decisively and with intelligence, showing skills the Empire had not expected. He realized that defeating them would require more than just firepower. Humans were unpredictable, clever, and united, and that combination made them a threat the Empire could not ignore. The galaxy was changing. Humanity was no longer a distant, weak species, it was a force to be reckoned with. Captain Leo had proven that courage, strategy, and unity could challenge even the most powerful fleets. The Empire had learned its first true lesson: humans were not just survivors, they were victors in their own right, and their rise had only just begun. Commander Roller stood on the bridge of the Imperial Dreadnought, the largest warship in the fleet. Hundreds of Imperial vessels surrounded him, forming the mightiest armada ever assembled. The Empire had learned from previous encounters, and they believed that overwhelming force would finally crush the humans. Roller's confidence returned, though a small seed of doubt lingered in his mind. He had seen humans fight cleverly before, but could they survive against the Empire's full strength? Captain Leo watched the approaching fleet from the Aurora. His crew remained calm but alert. Humans had trained for this moment. They had hidden a significant portion of their fleet deep in the shadows of asteroid belts and near uncharted moons. The Empire believed they had seen all of humanity's power, but the truth was far greater. Leo's eyes scanned the stars, knowing that the first strike of this battle would shock the Empire. The Imperial fleet advanced confidently, expecting an easy victory. Large warships moved in formation, firing long-range lasers to soften human defenses. Smaller vessels followed behind, ready to engage and destroy any surviving ships. The Empire's generals whispered to each other, expecting a swift conclusion to the war. But the humans had prepared a trap. Hidden ships emerged from asteroid fields, surrounding the Imperial Armada on all sides. Energy pulses disabled shield generators on key warships, while fast attack ships struck at engines and weapons. The Empire had expected resistance, but not this level of precision and coordination. Roller's eyes widened as he saw his fleet under attack from directions he had not predicted. "How is this possible?" he demanded. Officers scrambled to respond, but every maneuver seemed anticipated. Every Imperial strike was met with an immediate counter. The humans had not only prepared, they had mastered strategy and surprise. Captain Leo directed the attack calmly. "Focus on their command ships first," he said. "The rest will follow." Human pilots executed complex maneuvers, coordinating attacks across vast distances. Each strike was precise, targeting vulnerabilities in the Imperial formation. The Empire's numbers did not matter, humans had exploited weaknesses the Empire did not even know existed. Imperial warships began to fall one by one. Lasers hit engines and shields, leaving vessels drifting helplessly. Rolla realized with growing fear that the humans had been hiding far more than he had imagined. The first skirmishes were only a fraction of their strength. The main fleet, hidden in the shadows, was now revealing itself. Across the battlefield, humans moved with unity and purpose. Smaller ships acted as decoys, drawing fire while larger vessels struck vital systems. Energy pulses disrupted communications, leaving Imperial commanders unable to coordinate their attacks. Every move by the Empire was met with a precise human counterattack. Fear spread among Imperial officers as the battle turned against them. Roller's mind raced. He had believed size and firepower would win. Now he understood that humans were unpredictable, adaptable, and united. Their courage and intelligence allowed them to strike with devastating efficiency. The Empire had not only underestimated them, they had been blinded by arrogance. Captain Leo observed the chaos. His fleet remained coordinated and disciplined, striking without hesitation. "Do not waste time on revenge," he instructed. "Focus on strategy and efficiency. Every ship, every person, every action counts." The humans' discipline and clarity of purpose made them unstoppable, even against overwhelming numbers. The battle raged across the system. Imperial warships were forced to retreat or be destroyed. The humans' hidden fleet appeared in waves, striking key targets and then disappearing. Rolla realized with horror that the first skirmishes had been nothing compared to this. Humanity's true strength was far greater than the Empire had ever imagined. In the midst of the chaos, Rolla issued desperate commands, but his officers hesitated. Fear had taken hold. Humans fought not only with weapons but with intelligence, courage, and coordination. Every Imperial maneuver was countered, every strategy anticipated. The Empire had no choice but to retreat, leaving behind destroyed ships and shattered pride. Captain Leo watched the Imperial fleet withdraw, victorious but cautious. "This is a warning," he said. "The Empire will return, but we have shown them that humans are not to be underestimated. We fight for our people, our homes, and our freedom. That gives us strength beyond measure." Back on the Imperial dreadnought, Rolla stared at the battlefield in silence. His pride was gone, replaced by fear and respect. Humans had demonstrated power, intelligence, and courage beyond anything the Empire had expected. He knew the galaxy would never see them the same way again. The turning point was clear. Humanity had revealed its full power, and the Empire had no simple path to victory. Captain Leo had proven that courage, strategy, and unity could overcome even the most formidable fleet in the galaxy. The humans had not only survived, they had changed the course of the war, and the galaxy would never forget their strength. The Imperial fleet had retreated. Commander Rolla sat in silence on the bridge of the Imperial dreadnought, staring at the stars. He could not believe what he had just witnessed. The humans had fought with intelligence, courage, and unity that the Empire had never seen before. Every attack, every maneuver, every strike had been precise. They had proven that strength did not come from numbers alone. Captain Leo watched the aftermath from the Aurora. His fleet had survived the largest Imperial armada ever assembled. He knew the battle was not over, but humanity had sent a message. "We have shown the Empire what we are capable of," he told his officers. "Now we must secure our colonies and ensure that our people are safe. This victory belongs to every human, every scientist, every pilot, every citizen who stood together." The human colonies celebrated quietly but with pride. Engineers repaired damaged ships, scientists developed improved defenses, and soldiers trained to prepare for the next challenge. Every person contributed, showing that unity was humanity's greatest strength. Across the stars, humans had become more than a small species, they had become a symbol of courage, strategy, and resilience. Back in the Imperial Command Center, Commander Roller faced a council of generals. The room was filled with tension. "We underestimated them," Roller said, his voice steady but grave. "They are not a primitive species. They fight with intelligence and unity. Their courage inspires their allies and terrifies us. We must reconsider our approach." The Empire had learned a difficult lesson. Humans had turned what should have been a simple conquest into a defeat for the mightiest fleet in the galaxy. Reports showed Imperial ships destroyed, communication networks disrupted, and supply lines broken. The humans had not only survived, they had proven that even a smaller force could outthink and outmaneuver a larger one. Captain Leo addressed his fleet. "The Empire will return, but we are ready. We have shown what humans are capable of when we stand together. Courage, strategy, and unity are our greatest weapons. We will defend our homes, our colonies, and each other. This is only the beginning of our journey in the galaxy." Human scientists studied captured Imperial technology and found ways to adapt it to their own defenses. Engineers improved energy shields, weapons, and communication systems. Pilots trained in advanced maneuvers, always preparing for the next challenge. Every success reinforced the belief that humans were capable of facing any threat. Across the galaxy, news of humanity's victories spread quickly. Other species began to question the Empire's authority. Some sought alliances with humans, inspired by their courage and ingenuity. The Empire's reputation had been shaken. A small, determined species had shown that domination was not guaranteed, and intelligence and unity could overcome even overwhelming power. Commander Roller could not forget the humans' performance. He reviewed battle reports repeatedly, trying to understand how they had achieved such success. The more he studied, the more he realized that humanity's strength was not only in technology, but in their minds, their courage, and their ability to adapt. For the first time, he understood fear not as weakness, but as respect for an enemy unlike any he had faced before. Captain Leo walked among the fleet officers, proud but cautious. "We must remain vigilant," he said. "The Empire is powerful, but we are stronger in our unity and intelligence. Every human must continue to contribute. Every colony, every ship, every individual counts. Our victory today is proof that we can face any challenge." As the days passed, humans rebuilt and expanded their colonies. Trade resumed, defenses were strengthened, and alliances were formed with other species inspired by humanity's success. The galaxy began to recognize humans not as a small, distant species, but as a force capable of shaping the future. Roller and his officers planned cautiously. They knew the Empire could rebuild, but they also knew the humans had set a standard that the galaxy could not ignore. Humanity had demonstrated that courage, strategy, and unity could challenge even the most powerful empire in existence. Captain Leo looked at the stars one last time before returning to his command post. He reflected on the journey so far. From a small fleet defending colonies to a force that had stunned the Empire, humans had proven their worth. They had shown the galaxy that intelligence, courage, and unity could defeat fear, tyranny, and overwhelming power. The humans had won the first great battle for the future of the galaxy. They had survived, they had adapted, and they had triumphed. The Empire had been forced to retreat, but humanity's story was just beginning. Across the stars, a new era had begun, one where humans were respected, feared, and admired for their courage and determination. Captain Leo turned to his crew and smiled. "We have defended our homes, our people, and our future. Humanity has shown that we are not to be underestimated. Today, the galaxy sees what we have always known. Together, we are strong, and together, we will continue to rise." The galaxy would never be the same. Humans had proven themselves, and the Empire would remember this day. The story of courage, intelligence, and unity had begun, and the stars themselves seemed to shine brighter as humanity took its place among the forces of the galaxy.